Chad storms off behind the wings. The people who notice cheer loudly. I don't even know why he's even upset at me, because I have never once, like, played the event where I'm trying to steal Isabella from him. Not once, so I don't know what he has a beef with me personally. It doesn't, consistency-wise, it doesn't make sense. Isn't this part where you crush a beer can on your head? Yeah, but honestly, do you think he would have caved if I'd begged and pleaded? No, you played it the right way. I'm just saying, don't try any of that alpha male stuff on me. Got it, hot stuff? You know you're the tops with me, babe. Now if you'll excuse me, I believe that's an encore they're calling for. Isabella smiles that gorgeous, seductive smile at me as I turn to head into another number. I think she liked that display. Come on, Max, I want you to see this. Oh yeah, it's a Rakesh scene. I'm coming. I chuckle as we move through the trees. Rakesh just looks so excited. I guess it's rubbing off. Rakesh had come to me almost the second I'd left class. It was about time for lunch, though, so I had an hour or so. He led me to the park without saying much else, just that he was happy I was free for a bit. Finally, we hit a clearing, and I watched him spread his arms very theatrically. On the ground is a rather elaborate and incredibly put-together picnic lunch. Oh! Holy cow, you set all this up? Well, I may have purchased a few things in the basket, but otherwise... Yeah, we're going on a date with Rakesh. This looks amazing, Rakesh. How'd you get this all together like this? Rakesh smiles with a slight blush. It wasn't easy, but I wanted to do something special. Oh, wow, man, this is nice. I'm not sure what to say. Let's eat, huh? I put an arm around Rakesh's shoulder and we made our way over to the blanket. Rakesh began to take the food out of the basket. A nice curry, some cooked vegetables. It looked like a great meal. He brought out some paper plates with a sheepish grin, but I waved his concerns away. Once we had dished everything up, I fell to eating with a passion. The food was delicious. You know what else is probably delicious? The guy right next to you, Max. We chit-chatted a little while we ate. Nothing really substantial. The weather, the setup. I was going to ask how your classes are going, but do you even go to classes? Actually, I do go to classes sometimes. Mostly art classes. I have a few painting classes I go to every other day, and I even found a very interesting art history class. And what's wrong with that? Those sound like cool classes. There is nothing wrong with it, it's just that... Come on, man, out with it. I can tell something's wrong. What's bugging you? It's just that art is not the reason that I came to this college. I'm supposed to be in med school. I think you mentioned something about that before. Why the change? I simply have no passion for medicine. It is what I'm meant to be doing, I think. This is not, however, my parents' way of thinking. My parents are paying for me to come to college here. They want me to get my education in the States and then return to a good life in India. Unfortunately, this is actually pretty common. I've never really felt good about practicing medicine. I did well enough on my early tests, but it never really felt right to me. And I think a lot of it is unfortunately an Asian thing. And I understand, because at least in Asian culture, because I definitely see it in the Filipino culture, the parents want their kids to succeed. They want their kids to be successful. That's why their education is very important. Getting a good job is very important. And unfortunately, if you're a girl marrying to someone who has a good education, either the girl has to get a good education and get a good job, or has to find a husband with a good education and a good job. And that's the way the culture is. And so the parents are like pushing their kids to be doctors, to be lawyers, to be engineers, the really high paying jobs, because, they want their kids to do their best, to be the best they can be. The unfortunate thing that happens, though, is if the kid genuinely is not really interested in that line of work. If they want to do something else, it can be a huge disappointment to the parents. Who, only want what's best for their kids, but that's the problem. They don't always know what's really best for their kids, and what's best for their kids doesn't necessarily mean that they need to be wealthy. They should, have a roof over their head and food on the table and clothes on their back, sure. But, the end goal does not have to be, living the life, going to work every day with a job that you hate. That's the problem. I've never really felt good about practicing medicine. I did well enough on my early tests, but it never really felt right to me. Over there, though, my parents' influence is very strong. Out here, they are very far away, and I can be free to be me. But the thing is, they're also paying for his college, specifically to, you know, to get into med school. But I don't agree with that. I feel like you should fund your child to go to college, to finish their education, to get their degree, and they get to decide what degree they should have, you know? Maybe you might give them suggestions, giving them your input, but at the end of the day, they should pursue whatever degree they want. As long as they finish school, as long as they get their college degree, as a parent, that's what I would like for my kids, I would want for my kids. So, being yourself is one of the most important things there is. I do not disagree. It is just difficult when living under such a bold shadow as one of my parents can cast. I can say most definitely that they would not approve of my choice of whom to date. He grinned at me and I smiled back at him, reaching out to take his hand in my own for a moment. So are they really dating? Okay, because they never actually explicitly said they were dating. Well, for now, just go with what you feel like doing. I mean, college is the place you're supposed to experiment, right? This is very true, Max. Come, sit over under the tree. I wish to commemorate this day. I scoot over under one of the nearby trees and I make sure I'm sitting correctly. Meanwhile, Rakesh breaks out a piece of paper and some charcoal pens. He even breaks out the easel I gave him for Valentine's Day. I try some goofy poses while he... Ooh, poses! I try out some goofy poses while he gets set up. But though he laughs, Rakesh asks me to just sit normally. Is it okay to talk while you draw? Yes, please do. Tell him he might like medicine. Tell him he should rebel against his parents. Look, man, I know a thing or two about disappointing parents. My old man's paying for my college as well. This is the one he's always laying down on me. Boy, this rock star nonsense is never going to pan out. And when reality hits you in the face, a college degree is going to be the only thing between you and the dumpster diving for loose change. Rakesh takes his eyes off his drawing to look at me with a raised eyebrow for a moment. I know, right? But here's the thing. Half the money he gave me, I used on better instruments for the band. I may not put a lot of effort into this college, BS, but that's because I'm too busy working my butt off trying to make this band work. I guess I'm just trying to say, you've got real talent. Don't let your parents bully you into burying that talent. You know what you want? Go after it. Yes, Rakesh, you know what you want? Go after him. Rakesh's eyes stay on his drawing for a few more moments than they had been before. A smile creeps onto his face, just tilting the edge of his mouth. Thank you, Max. Nice. I appreciate your help, Max, I really do. Moreover, I appreciate you modeling for me. Here, I think I've sketched the base. Come see. I get up from my place and go to see what Rakesh has put down. It's a beautiful drawing. I can't believe he's gotten my likeness down so well and so quickly. I mean, he's been checking you out. Every last curve, every last, contour. Man, you're gonna give me a big head, drawing me all beautiful like that. No comment. Come on, let's clean up here and we'll get some dessert. My treat, okay? Oh, they're going for dessert, eh? Yes, that sounds wonderful. It's very subtle. The relationship with each other is very subtle, it seems. What? You better not have said what I think you just said. I was trying to get an early night, but Isabella's screaming snapped me awake. Last I remember, she was supposed to be hanging out with Chad tonight. I guess their date went pretty well. Maybe we all got lucky and Chad finally did something stupid enough to get kicked to the curb. A quick look at my clock shows it's pretty late. I wonder if I should see what's going on. Isabella's calmed down a little bit, so I can't really make out what they're saying from here. Ah, she's got it. Isabella's a big girl. It would be insulting for me to come to her rescue. Then again, it would feel like a little snooping on her personal business. I should probably leave them alone to work out their issues. I put my head back down and tried to cover my ears with a pillow. A few minutes later, I could hear a thumping noise as somebody large went down the stairs and out the door. After that, things were quiet again, and I could get back to sleep. The next morning, I ran to Isabella at the dining room table, slowly eating breakfast. She looked awful, like she's been crying all night. Are you okay? It's fine, Max. Are things okay with Chad? I'll thank you not to mention the name of that a-hole again. Well, that answered my question. I quickly throw up my hands defensively and back away into the kitchen. I guess things didn't go so great last night after all. I may have wanted Chad out, but I didn't want Isabella hurt so bad by it. Yeah, you probably haven't heard of them. Tiny baby ocelots with sex on the brain. Yeah, a bit too under your radar, I'm sure. Everyone's covered in green today. Heck, everything is, except me. But that's okay. Oh, is it St. Patty's Day? Don't get me wrong, I love St. Patty's Day. If you're gonna make up a holiday for getting drunk is about as good as it gets. But you know the old rules. If you're not wearing green, you get a pinch. And nothing invites the ladies to get a little touchy-feely like an excuse to give a cute stud a pinch. I've already gotten a few cute co-eds eager to pinch the non-believer. At any rate, I'm sure the folks at Latin House are planning some kind of big blowout bash. Regardless of Dominic's desires, of course. I've been in my room at the last few hours, wondering if I want to try to sneak out before it gets started. Yeah, let's go do the holidays. I could probably find a party way hotter than what Dominic would let us throw, but nah, it's already getting better drunk. It's always better getting drunk with friends. I'm sure we can drink Dominic under a table, and then we can have some real fun. Spend the next hour or so going through my special hidden stash. Hopefully we got some green food coloring or something. If I'm not heading out to the wild parties, I may as well make the party here as wild as possible. When I hear the knock on my door, I'm ready for whatever the night holds. Hey, Max, Isabella says she's got a whole slew of games for us tonight, so you should get your butt in gear before I drink all the good booze. Given how mopey Isabella been since she broke up with Chad, I'm surprised she's this invested in St. Patrick's Day. Maybe she's just using the party as an excuse to get over her ex-boyfriend. I follow Rakesh down the stairs where I see that the crew has been busy. There are cards laid out, green beer, and some kind of green punch in a giant bowl. So what's the proof on that punch, Isabella? It'll put hair on your chest, then knock those hairs out and grow all new, stronger super hairs. Sounds like my kind of drink. I reach up a hand and high-five Isabella while going to get a glass of punch, just for good measure. I slip a bit of the concoction I was working on earlier in my room in there. I can see Anne eyeing me from across the room. I give her a wink and she just shakes her head. One sip later and I swear my vision went blurry for a second. Oh yeah, this is the good stuff. Where's Dominic? I'm surprised he let you get away with this. Isabella just grins and points over to the study nook. Sitting there, tied at the wrists and ankles, wearing a blindfold and gagged, is Dominic. Oh my. Oh my. Hanging around his neck is a sign that simply says, "Kiss me, I'm Irish." Oh my. I don't think Max is going to go for it. I can almost see his frown deepen as he hears me guffawing at his predicament. They don't even show the picture of it. It would have been so funny to show a picture of that. Oh, poor Dominic. No, this is perfect, see? This way he has plausible deniability if anyone finds out about the party. Not his fault. He was tied up by desperados. Everyone laughs at that. Well, everyone except Dominic. Enough of this small talk. Tonight we test the luck of the Irish. Wait, which one of us is Irish? Quiet, you. First, pin the shamrock on the leprechaun. The alcohol starts flowing early and freely, and I take all I can get. I don't know how we did it, but somehow between Isabella's punch and my own concoction, we've made some of the tastiest liquor I've ever had. Luckily, Isabella's games begin to take progressively less skill and progressively more drinking. We play a bunch of different silly party games with drunken penalties. Isabella even got her hands on a snake-shaped piñata. When we finally managed to drunkenly beat it open, it was full of cello shots in plastic cups. How did they pull that off? Turns out Rakesh had actually made it special. Finally, after a while, we were all sitting on the floor around the study nook. Dominic continued struggling to get out of his bindings as we started playing a simple game of truth or dare. Okay, I choose Sally. Okay, dare. Oh, you should let out the loudest belch you can. What? That's gross, Rakesh. Too bad. You have chosen to be daring. Sally takes a drink of the punch, weaving in place a little, before taking a deep breath and letting out the smallest burp any of us have heard. Everyone laughs as Sally turns bright red. Beep. I can't burp and command. Shut up. Whatever, it's my turn, so shut up. Sally turns towards me with a wicked look in her eyes. Okay, Max, truth or dare? I don't want either. I'm gonna play. Alright, dare. Okay, I dare you to show us your... Oh, okay. Are you kidding me? Oh yeah, it's a full moon tonight. Anne covers her eye. I mean, Dominic's already seen it, so... I don't think Rakesh has seen it yet, though. Anne covers her eyes as I sigh and turn around. I notice she's peeking through her fingers, though. I lower my pants to the cat calls and cheers of my roommates. Maybe I milk it a little bit, but I've always been the type to put on a show. Finally lift my pants back up to boos and cheers. Happy? Alright, nice one, Max. Your turn now. Finally. Okay. I choose Isabella. We continue on the circle like that for another few hours. In the morning, I wake up in my own bed, feeling like death is trying to out a new drum solo behind my sinuses. I can only vaguely remember making my way back upstairs, but everything feels fuzzy. I head downstairs towards the kitchen for a bit of water, only to find everyone else standing at the bottom of the stairs. I go down to them and look in the same direction, and my jaw hits the floor. Don't tell me. We never... Sitting in a chair in the study, silently fuming, Dominic waits to be untied. Not it! Man, hope Dominic didn't have to go to the bathroom. Luckily, when it's all over, Rakesh lost the rock, paper, scissors contest. The rest of us were well on our way to Isabella's cafe for some morning coffee before Dominic finally got set free. Poor Dominic. Oh. Poor guy. Yes, that's why I need your help, Max. That's why I need your help, Max. I cannot paint all these flowers by myself in one night. I already told you I have plans for tonight, though, right? I'd have to skip out on Anne. You probably shouldn't be painting those flowers at all, you know. They're in a park, Rakesh. Isn't that illegal? I'm nearly positive that it would be viewed as a public service. And that's why you're adorable. Unfortunately, I really do have to meet with Anne tonight. We have to put the last touches on our final essay soon. Rakesh sighs and puts on a small domino mask. Well, I suppose that cannot be helped then. That boy is going to get in some serious trouble. Still, I don't know if it's worth missing tonight's session with Anne. I'm gonna help out my boy Rakesh. Speed, you ridiculous man. I have to put Rakesh out of my head for now. Anne is coming over. Oh, okay, well, never mind. So, wait. So if I skip it, do I play with... This boy's gonna go into serious trouble, so I don't know if it's worth missing tonight's session with Anne. I'm gonna... So I have to skip it to stay with Rakesh? Screw it, Anne is just going to have to understand. There's no way I'm letting Rakesh just go out there on his own. I quickly fire off a text about canceling our meeting to Anne. He flashes me the biggest grin as I ask which paints we're supposed to be taking. I'm really not sure how he talked me into wearing a mask, but 4 hours later, every flower in the park is painted some virulent striped pattern. It's actually pretty cool looking, and I'm always up for a little mayhem. Mostly I just enjoyed the excuse to be with Rakesh for a while. The next morning, the park was mentioned on the news. There was a lot of laughter, and I was mostly just glad the police weren't looking too hard into it. Luckily, the paint came off easily, and wasn't actually harmful to the plants. Good. Although we didn't really get any, relationship boost from Rakesh, but that's okay. It's starting to get really nice outside. The weather's been nice and warm lately. This is pretty much the perfect finals week. With spring break only a week away, I'm having a hard time concentrating on my schoolwork. Not that I was thinking about it a lot beforehand, but come on, hit the beach with all those hotties in bikinis, it's gonna be a good break. I've got a book in my lap, but my attention keeps wandering, and I keep staring out at the quad around me. That's how I noticed Professor Task walking by me, which got me thinking about his extra credit assignment. I wonder if Anne has already gone to see him. I began wondering if I should go see him. The professor is almost to the quad. I can still catch him if I want, but I'm not sure I want to. I gotta find out what's going on. I already, blew Anne off, so I gotta make sure I keep up with my grades. I get to my feet and quickly run after the professor. Professor! Ah, Max, wasn't it? Yes. What do you want? If you've come to betray your partner, you'll actually need to verbally request the answer to the finals. Otherwise, I do have things to do, so make it snappy, please. Well, has Anne betrayed me? Of course. Came to me on day 1. No. I can't believe I'm hearing this. I never thought Anne would betray me so quickly. No, it's a lie. It's a test. That bee, I can't believe she would do that on day 1? What? Of course you realize that was the warden in this scenario. It's in my best interest to tell you that the other betrayed you, right? You realize that as the warden in this scenario, it's in my best interest to tell you that the other betrayed you, right? The more of you who request answers means the fewer tests I have to grade. Honestly, if the college didn't require at least some academic standards, I just passed the whole lot of you and have been done with it. So Anne hasn't betrayed me? How should I know? I've got all the information on you students written down. Do you honestly think I can be bothered to remember all of your names? Though I'm pretty sure your partner came to me. Maybe it was day 2. Who can remember all the betrayals? All the betrayals? I'm sure once I check my files, it will check out. So what will it be for you, Max? Yeah, let the professor go. I don't know if Anne really betrayed me or not, but I'm not going to be the lowlife in this scenario. No, I think I'll just take the test normally, Professor. Professor Tass sighs and shakes his head. Oh, fine, just give me more work to do. I suppose you think I've got nothing better to do than read your answers on a test, Or whatever, I suppose you've got your ethics on to stand behind. Well, I hope your partner didn't betray you, or you'll be in for quite the shock, and possibly my class again next quarter. The professor claps a hand on my shoulder as he looks me in the eye. Well, either way, you've played the game well, and for that you have my thanks. This will be a fascinating chapter of the book I write someday. He gives me a thumbs up and then walks briskly away into the nearby building. As I turn to go, out of the corner of my eye, I catch a back that looks suspiciously like it belongs to Anne. I really hope they don't think I was meeting to the professor to betray him, then. Well, nothing for it now. I'll just have to see how it turns out on Friday. I return to my previous seat and open my book back up. I don't think Anne's gonna betray us. Wait, you want me to do what? Please, Max. Sally was all worked up about this thing today, and I'm worried the scene might get ugly. I'm already stuck here fielding calls from the housing authority about student involvement. Apparently Sally went down to the science building earlier to join a bunch of other students in protesting. What exactly are they protesting? I don't know. I'm paid to keep you people from burning the house down, not to watch your every movement. Can you please go check up on her for me? I'm supposed to have a meeting with my advisor this afternoon. I want to be cool with Dominic, but sorry, I'm gonna skip it. Sorry, Dominic, my advisor's booked up for 4 weeks solid. I have to take this appointment, especially with finals. Fine, I understand. Maybe you'll see if Rakesh will go. He's probably bumming around here somewhere. If it's still going on when you get back, try to take a look, okay? I'll try. A few hours later, the area in front of the science building has been cleared out. Whatever it was, it looks like they cleared out probably in a hurry, too. I can see signs lying on the ground, trampled on. I hope nobody got hurt. When I get back home, Sally's watching TV, pouting and refusing to talk about what happened. Oh, poor thing. Hopefully she didn't get hurt. Where do babies come from? An attempt to answer the most ancient and unanswerable question. It's a pretty easy question to answer, I think, all things considered. I've got finals all week, and yet I still feel like I have a ton more studying to do. Everyone in Latin House is hard at work trying to get their last study sessions in. Isabella's been locked up in her room since dawn. Sally's rarely been outside to walk her dog. Even Rakesh is... As I look into Rakesh's room, I actually am not sure what Rakesh is doing. He appears to be doing a kind of headstand on his books. Rakesh, I think you get less money from the student bookstore if you'd ruined the book. Unfortunately, I think I startled Rakesh as he crashes to the ground. I briefly consider running before he recognizes me. Yeah. What are you doing, man? You're liable to wreck yourself messing around like that. I'm fine, thank you, Max. I was trying to study. Were you trying to learn by osmosis, Rakesh? Certainly not. I am not a buffoon. Does that work? I mean, maybe if the blood all rushes to your head. Exactly. You understand why I had to at least try it. So, do you feel like you know it any better? Not really, no. Well, then I guess we'll have to figure out a different way for you to learn the material. I suppose I really must rely on other methods to learn. Well, what do you have in mind, Max? Well, what's the subject? It is for biology. I need to pass a class so that my grades reflect that I'm doing well in my proper curriculum. Yeah, that is what they do. It's important to my parents that I try my best to become a rich American-trained doctor. Well, if it's important to you, let's do it. We'll cram like it's going out of style, man. We'll figure out how to get this stuff so deep in your brain you won't be able to not to pass. Yes, we can best this test together. Rakesh and I gather up all of our notes and he's taken during class this quarter. Unfortunately, given his terrible attendance record, his notes really aren't much. Of course, it doesn't help that half his book is covered in doodles and drawings and just splotches of color. We spend a few hours comparing his notes to his textbooks and mostly just studying the things that his class has been going over the past quarter. After a while, Rakesh's attention begins to drift. He just can't concentrate on the subject for that long. I wonder what's distracting him. I get his attention back a few times, but he's beginning to lose it. It must be rough having parents trying to dictate what you do here. Sometimes I wonder if I'm letting my own parents down, but I know they'll be happy when they see me up on stage. It's clear Rakesh is losing interest, though. I need to do something to clear his head, so he'll study more. Maybe we should try Moses again. Let's take a break and get our minds cleared. Okay, Rakesh, it's clear you need to get your head clear so you can concentrate. Yes, this is most excellent idea, Max. I'll make us some food to take our minds off of our predicament. That sounds good. Ooh, I hope it's some Indian food or Indian snacks. A few minutes later, Rakesh and I are in the kitchen. Rakesh is mixing up some kind of batter, while I'm digging through our cupboard to see if they got any fruit. Cake is very good for the brain. I'm sure I heard that in one of the days I attended class. If we can make a good one, surely I will be able to study all night long. What are you two doing? We're making studying cake, obviously. Studying cake? That's the best idea I've heard all night. Did you use the egg substitute I bought? Oh, yes. Before I know it, the whole house is helping and arguing over ingredients to go into our study cake. I guess everyone really just needed a break from studying for finals. I feel a little bad that Rakesh probably won't get any studying done tonight, but at least he's relieving his stress. I mean, there are other ways to relieve stress, you two. You know, just saying. A few hours in a messy kitchen later, we have a rather magnificent and terribly delicious cake on our hands. Oh, finals. Professor Task's final is grueling. I swear he's never even hinted at half of these concepts before. I try to peek at my study partner to see if they're breezing through us, but Anne's head is bent down just like everyone else. There's nothing else for it. I'm just going to have to finish this test out and find out what happens. Play it out. Once my test is complete, I walk down to the professor's desk. I try to sneak a peek out to Anne to see if they're having an easy time or not, but it's impossible to tell. Ah, finished, Max? Hang around a few moments, we'll discuss the results of our little extra credit experiment. I nod with a bit of apprehension. I'm not really sure I want to know what happened, but I suppose it's all part of the experiment. I return to my desk and busy myself for the remainder of the test time watching as everyone else slowly hands in their tests. Finally, the only ones left in the room are myself and the others in the extra credit group. Well, ladies and gentlemen, here we are. Time to find out which of you will be failing and which will be getting C's. Anne looks over at me, raising an eyebrow. I shrug and just look back at the professor. Okay, let's start running through this stuff, shall we? Let's see. Marvin, you fail. Looks like Tara came to me pretty quickly. What? Suck it up, sunshine. You know the rules. I like his hair. I watch Marvin run out of class looking like he spit nails. Okay, who else have we got? All right, Roxanne. Yes, Professor. Congratulations on your B. I'm surprised you managed to convince Jared to study. Roxanne looks fairly pleased with herself. I guess a B is better than failing. Finally, Professor Task looks at me. Looks like you kept the faith, Anne. Ah, such loyalty brings a tear to me jaded and uncaring heart. Wait, no, that's heartburn. Anyway, you both took things normally, so I guess I'll actually have to grade your tests. I'll get back to you on your grades, but I assume they'll be fine. Nice! We did it, Anne! I didn't betray you and you didn't betray me. Anne beams at me, clapping her hands happily. We did it, Max, we did it! I'm so happy you didn't take the easy A. I knew you could see how fun and good it feels to study. Well, I have to admit, I mostly just didn't want to disappoint you. Glad it all worked out. I think that's the lot of you here. We'll deal with any other stragglers later. I slump down in my desk, mostly just glad that the tension is over when Professor Task's cell phone suddenly breaks the silence. Yes? Well, I put them in a... Yes, a prisoner's dilemma. Well, I'm a sociology professor. Of course it's relevant. Well, why was I supposed to know his father was a donor? What's going on? Professor Task is frowning something fierce. Someone's clearly reading him the riot act. What? I've got tenure! He can go to... The grades are staying. I didn't get where I'm grading papers, and I'm not about to start. Fine. Yes, I can make it up to the students somehow. How about... But that's my... I was going to... Oh, fine. Professor Task looks fit to be tied as he puts his cell phone away. So, apparently Marvin is a little crybaby and went whining to the dean. I mean, I have to admit, like, if you actually are failing someone just because they were studying so hard and the person betrayed them, you're rewarding people who betray their partners, that is kind of messed up. Interesting social experiment, but for a practical sense in university, not gonna fly. 30 minutes later, Anna and I are standing in front of the stunned members of Latin House. Seriously? Yeah, apparently the dean tore into him something fierce. So, to make up for putting us all through that, we all get to use Professor Task's beach house this spring break. We have to pay our own way, and it's only the space. We're getting no amenities, but it's on a private beach, so we'll have the place to ourselves. Oh man, this is going to be so sweet. I'm gonna get packing. I hope I have a good swimsuit. Me too, Rakesh. Can I bring Vegemite? I don't think so, sorry. It's okay, I'll get my friend Jovia to watch him. Woo, spring break! I watch everyone gather excitedly and go off to start packing. Hopefully this will help us forget the ugliness that just happened, and we all can have a great time. Hooray! Spring break!